My bright and greater room, from the Dawnhorse Testament, included in the book Always Enact Fidelity to Me by Adidar Samraj. As a general rule, the principal preoccupation of human beings is their involvement in the dramas of emotional sexual egoity. Whether that involvement is self-satisfied or frustrated. The total life of the human individual is rooted in sex, because the body is an emotional sexual pattern. That pattern manifests itself in part as sex mind, but altogether that pattern governs all aspects of the gross personality. Indeed, most of the content of the gross personality bears no direct reference to sex, even though virtually all such content is based in and limited by the governing emotional sexual pattern, and altogether your allegiance to your own emotional sexual pattern fastens you in the downward disposition, bound to the gross view of existence. In your psychophysical faculties, if your psychophysical faculties are turned downward by virtue of your egoic patterning, then you cannot truly and fully locate and know me. If your psychophysical faculties are turned downward, you are not even in the room with me. My room is above and beyond. I am above and beyond. I reveal myself from above and beyond. If you are not devotionally and transcendently spiritually turned to me, in my divinely avatarically here-born bodily human divine form, you cannot locate me and know me, in filling you from above and beyond. And if you cannot transcendently spiritually locate me and know me, in filling you from above and beyond, I cannot transcendently spiritually work with you. Then you will merely continue to be turned down and in on yourself, defined separately by all your egoic patterning. In that case, the most you can experience of me is a conditional and necessarily limited modification of me, because you are aware of me only via and in the terms of your own psychophysical ego patterning. Then you do not locate me and know me as I am, above and beyond, in the bright and greater room. Instead, you remain in the dark and narrow room of separate self, or the conditional space of egoity, bound by the always seeking shape and occupation of your own limit and patterning. My tangibly located divine avataric transcendental spiritual invasion makes everything about conditionally manifest existence profoundly clear. For by me transcendently spiritually awakened and necessarily forward lay congregationist devotee, the possibility of ego-based involvement in sexual activity and even every motive towards sexual activity itself is, at least in due course, if not immediately, outgrown. Whether or not any such devotee continues to be always yogically and conservatively, sexually active, sexual activity simply ceases to be, for him or her, a matter of problematic concern. Fundamentally, sexual activity is a functional mechanism for ensuring the reproduction of the species. Therefore, Only low-minded egoity, self-contracted in and as the body, would presume that such a functional mechanism has any causative role relative to the altogether divine, transcendental spiritual reality and process. However, before you have become truly established in the always presently by me given, and by me renewed, and by me magnified process of tangible and whole bodily or total psychophysical transcendental spiritual infusion by me, you will tend to one or another degree to impute great and even possible and even spiritually causative importance to the functions and possibilities associated with sexual pleasure. And thus, because there is no great and sufficient fullness for you in the spiritual sense, and this because there is no great and sufficient fullness for you in the spiritual sense, before you have become truly established in the eager surrendering devotional process of tangible transcendental spiritual infusion by me, you are yet fastened in your self-deluded lowness due to your naive self-identification with the physical body, which you presume to be a separate something, but which in reality is not at all separate. As my devotee, you must be turned to me, whole bodily or as a psychophysical totality, and I must show or avatarically and altogether divinely self-reveal myself to you, in and as and via my divinely avatarically born, bodily human divine form, and altogether from above and beyond. This avatarically given divine transcendental spiritual imposition of mine deconditions and transforms your psychophysical being. Thus, this transcendental spiritual imposition of mine is not itself a philosophical matter. Rather, it is a divine matter, avatarically given to you by me. You must live the life I have given you to live. You must follow my divine avataric instructions. You must resort to me in and as my divinely avatarically born, bodily human divine form and person, and thereby relinquish all the lying nonsense of the memory of egos. Da.